guys, and welcome to another episode of Confessional. My name is Katy Hunt, and I'm here to guide you through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the convention world. And sometimes I do it with a little help from my friends. And today, Doug has guided me in the direction of our next guest, and I am very excited to talk with him today. It's Erich. Hi, Erich. How are you?
We're doing good, and we'll see if Doug's recommendation holds true.
Right, we'll see if we're friends after this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be fine, but Erich, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everybody.
All right. So I am Erich Shafer. I am a 15-year veteran of the 501st and Rebel Legions, which is through which I do the vast majority of my convention chicanery.
Aha. So you're a 501st person.
That's I am.
That's yeah, I've always loved the 501st. I think it's the coolest thing ever.
It's such a blast.
I've been told by Doug to join either the Rebels or the 501st. It's just, who has the time anymore? You'd think with a pandemic we'd have more time to do projects, and somehow I found a way to work more.
I have found a way to look at all of the projects that I should be doing and saying, don't worry, we're in a pandemic. I've got plenty of time.
Right.
And just watching He-Man cartoons again. So
exactly. Just like, man, I'm going to be home for a couple weeks. I can work on some stuff 2 years later. No.
I've got so much time now.
Yeah.
And there go the glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is the broken glasses. Well, working with the 501st, I'm sure you've had many of an adventure, or so I've been told by Doug.
Doug and our circle of friends have we have a history, and it's referred to as Shafer Story Time.
Oh,
yay! We will sit around the fire or in a changing room after an event, and Erich will tell you all about the good old days or the bad old days or that time he insulted a celebrity.
Yay!
And hold court for a while. And everybody seems to be quite pleased.
I'm excited. By all means, please. Tell me how you've insulted celebrities.
So many times, so much experience. Are you familiar with Super Mega Fest at all?
Of course.
Oh, that is the castle of chicanery, and or at least it used to be before it started bouncing around to wherever it happens to be this year. I think it's up at Leominster now.
Wow.
But back in the day, we had the opportunity to host a bunch of Star Wars celebrities at Super Mega Fest.
Sure.
And one of them was Jeremy Bulloch, the original Boba Fett from episodes 4 through 6. Episode 5 and 6, because he wasn't in 4, because
nobody was in Carbonite yet.
Nobody yet. But we had just set up our area near the back stairs, and this was what we lovingly refer to as a shit from Erich's basement con. And I have props, I have patch frames, I have displays out the wazoo from my time in the organization. I believe this was the year that we trotted out my wife's stuffed bantha. And she sewed a bantha plushie that's probably about 18 inches long and nice and fuzzy, and it was just really cute and really fun. And we had X-Wing costume here and TIE pilot costume there, and just a lot of fun displays for people. But at the bottom of the stairs was our piece de resistance, our life-size Jabba the Hutt.
Ooh.
And Jabba was not just a display, Jabba was a puppet.
What?
We would set this thing up, and it was a PVC pipe frame around which was a foam interior and then a jet set spandex skin. So you could get inside the head, and we would have one area for each arm, and then somebody could puppet the tongue, and then somebody could get in the tail and move that. So you could have up to 3 puppeteers inside this thing, which we often did. Um, one moving the tongue and the arm, one moving the other arm, and one moving the other arm and using the soundboard. So you could press a button on it, and then there's Jabba,
Yeah.
booming across the con,
Mhm.
and another person running the tail. And everybody sweating to death because you're basically inside a giant foam. You're sweating to death inside a convention anyway.
Right. And
Let's
now you're
just
inside Jabba the Hutt.
add 2 inches of foam and convention funk, and it's a great shift. I'll tell you what. So we had just set Java up. We'd gotten everything decorated, and the convention has not opened yet. And I'm there, my wife is there. We've got a couple other people for setup, but Jeremy Bullock walks over,
Ooh.
and I have this. I'm not quite face blind, but if I'm meeting somebody for the first time and I've never had any experience with them before, like this could be an actor or what have you that I've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing them in person, you're just some guy to me until you extend your hand and say, "Hi, I'm Jeremy Bullock." Or in this case, one of our members said, "Hey, Eric, Jeremy Bullock is here."
Mm-hmm.
Um, I turn, "Oh, Jeremy, hi, I'm Eric. I'm um, running PR. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for coming over." I showed him through the space, took a couple pictures with Jabba. Uh, he had a blast. It was great. Fun 5 minutes.
Sure.
And that's more than most people get because at most conventions nowadays, especially with the celebrities, you get a grip and grin.
Mm-hmm.
And they shake your hand, they take the photo, and then they go off to whatever else they're going to be doing next. But Jeremy loved the 501st. He has since passed, but every experience we had with him was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So very thankful, very good. And he heads off. So we continue setting up our area, and everybody's doing their thing. Convention opens. I'm like, okay, everyone is set with shifts. I am gonna grab my stuff from the van. Um, I'm gonna get my room. I'm gonna put the stuff in there. I've got some time before the next shift that I have to do. I'm gonna, go change into a costume and be good there. So go up, get the room keys for my wife and I, head out, grab the suitcase, come in through the back door, and in the very bottom level of the Sheraton in Framingham, um, there's a straight shot hallway, which they weren't using for the convention at the time, that'll take you from the back doors right to the elevator.
Yeah, like a little secret passage.
Exactly. Which basically the only people who quote unquote knew about this were the 501st, Rebel Legion, the costuming organizations,
Mm-hmm.
and the celebrities. So I'm head for the elevator. There's this kid in the elevator. Hold it for me, please. Step into the elevator and hit floor 4 or whatever I happen to be at the time. And I'm thinking nothing of this. So the guy that I step in with, he's probably in his late teens, early 20s. Got a hat on with the Mandalorian skull kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of turned to the side, like the cool kids do. One of those puffy jackets and the sneakers that, the tongue's huge and they aren't tied. And I'm just, it's some punk kid. And again, thinking nothing of this.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, hey, oh, you with the Legion?" Yeah, I am here all weekend. Got our job of the hut downstairs, and gonna be gonna be a blast here all weekend. Oh, cool! I love seeing the Legion at these things. What's the best experience you've had at one of these? Like, I've had a lot of good experiences, but it was really nice this morning because Jeremy Bullock came over to our table and said hello and shook everybody's hand. It was a really great experience. He's like, yeah, Jeremy's a good guy. Jeremy's a good guy. I'm like, yeah, it's always a thrill to meet, the one true Boba Fett. And hits my floor, and the kid gives me kind of a look. I'm like, have a good one, enjoy the con. And he heads off to his floor. I go to my room, change in my costume, you know, get set, head back down the elevator to our secret passageway, and head back over to the booth. And three or four people are standing around, including my wife, who looks at me and goes, "So, did you enjoy your elevator ride?" Like, what do you mean? Yeah, it's fine. Why? Do you know who that was? No, but I have this feeling like I'm in trouble now. That was Daniel Logan.
No.
I'm like, oh,
Oh.
oh no.
Oh
And
no.
it's this might as well be my wife's catchphrase. What did you do?
What have you done?
I'm like, well, I told him about Jeremy coming by the table and what a thrill it was to meet the one true Boba Fett. And everybody there is just like, oh God, oh no, what have you done?
It's like, did you read the words exactly? Maybe.
Yeah, but to me, he was just so. I remember 12-year-old episode 2 Daniel Logan.
Yeah.
It's been a decade since then. He has blossomed and matured into an adult. And he was kind of a punk kid. And I don't know who this kid is. And I was polite.
Mm-hmm.
I was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to give him a nice backhand slap about who the one true Boba Fett was.
To be fair, Boba Fett was Boba Fett before he was Boba Fett.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. But
I mean,
before he was an inkling of Daniel Logan, Boba Fett was Boba Fett.
right. It's like,
But
sorry.
yeah,
I mean, I get how you meant it, but it's also like, I guess like he must think everybody just knows who he is. And it's like, yes, if you don't have, like if you know who everybody is in Star Wars, congratulations. I'm sorry. Because I've
yeah.
watched Star Wars since I was 6 years old, and I have a pretty good take on who everybody is. But I mean, I would probably still have a problem with like a lot of people because 90% of the people in Star Wars have some prosthetic on or a helmet or like,
Well, don't you know who I am? I was third rebel pilot from the left during the briefing scene.
ah, shit, I thought you were
Who?
four.
Who?
Who?
I
So it's
just
like, but I mean, Daniel Logan has changed quite a bit too in the last several years since he
absolutely,
was.
absolutely.
So
But
it's
he
like,
like just
ugh.
that explained the look he gave me, like I had just farted in the elevator. But I didn't think anything of it. I was just
No.
like a but this began my career of accidentally insulting celebrities.
Oh Lord.
So it seems like no matter what convention I go to,
Mm-hmm.
I will find a celebrity or
Mm-hmm.
somebody of social status within that particular realm, a guest of the con,
Right. Right.
and I will insult them unintentionally to their face.
I feel. I feel like there's others. I'm getting a sense here.
So the next year, Super Mega Fest.
The next year, I looked Luke Skywalker right in the eyes.
So Jonathan Frakes.
No.
Yeah. So Jonathan Frakes is a
Mm-hmm.
guest of Super Mega Fest.
Sure.
And I am dressed as a rebel pilot.
Mhm.
I have taken up position by our usual Star Wars area by the back stairs, and we've just got characters kind of mulling around. It's Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Everybody's either drunk, still hungover, or glaring at the people who are either or both.
Mhm.
And we start talking, my friend Joe and I, about references. And it's when a television show or movie makes allusions to another television show or movie.
Mhm.
And we're just bantering back and forth. And one of my favorites was from Beavis and Butthead. They go into their little dreamscape and they're dressed up as officers on the bridge of the Enterprise. And there's Captain Butthead. And he looks at Beavis and goes, "Hey, Beavis, number one, go take a number two." And as I go, number one, take a number two. That's when Jonathan Frakes walks behind me
Of course
to
it does.
head into the bathroom. And Joe's eyes go wide because the timing on this could not have been worse.
Oh no.
And Frakes stops. He looks at the both of us. Joe gives my shoulder a shove, so I turn around and see, "Oh, hello, Riker."
Hello.
He just looks at us both and goes, "Great, now I feel safe," and heads into the bathroom.
Oh.
Joe's jaw is doing that thing where words should be happening, but they're not happening. He is a far bigger Trek fan than I. And this was, without paying for it, probably one of his only opportunities to interact with Frakes
Mhm.
or a member of the cast.
Mhm.
And there's his idiot friend telling him to go take a shit. I,
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm. So he's
Yeah.
never had the chance to see him again. Probably doesn't want to, honestly.
Um, I have intentionally avoided Mr. Frakes. I'm a big fan of his directorial work. I
Mhm.
loved his stuff on Leverage, but you know what? I think he could do without ever seeing me again. And,
If
and
you're
I'm
listening,
just
he's sorry.
not really. It makes for a great story.
It does.
The but in retrospect, yeah, that was. I won't say it was one of my prouder moments.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's just like, bad circumstances, honestly. Like probably okay, next time not outside a bathroom, I guess is the moral of that story.
Location, location, location,
100%.
and it's it's been an adventure. Um, I took some. That was the last year, I believe, that Super Mega Fest was in Framingham for a stretch. Then they headed over to, ooh, was it one of the boroughs? Northborough, Southborough, Westborough? I
One of
honestly
those,
don't know.
yeah, like off.
Somewhere off like 95, 495.
Mhm.
Um, but anybody who's not in Massachusetts listening to this program, I'm sorry. because Westboro is south of Southboro and Northboro is west of Westboro. And good luck. Anyway, the
Good luck, because I don't even
yeah,
know.
just, um, so I fortunately escaped dealing with celebrities while it was in boroughs. I either did not attend or I stuck to our booth, which was far away from the celebrities, which was really best for everybody in
Mm,
retrospect. Um, although, as I think about it now,
mm.
because I hadn't thought about this one in a while.
That's what this show
Uh,
does to you, Eric. It just draws things out.
yeah, yeah, it's like therapy. Good lord. Um, the I feel like I should be reclined on a couch somehow.
I mean, you could have been.
I could have been, but instead, I am, to give people at home the visual, I'm sitting here with a glass of apple pie moonshine with a puppy in my lap.
Oh,
So just,
it's
yeah,
kind of therapy.
it is. It is. I have a 11-year-old border collie corgi mix named Boomy. He is he's at Boomy Borgie on Instagram, and he's just he's my therapy buddy. He just knows when he should be around and getting petted. But back to plot at hand. Familiar with pro wrestling at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you remember Eric Bischoff? He
Yes.
was one of the authority figures from World Championship Wrestling in the late 90s before jumping over to World Wrestling Entertainment in the early 2000s. Uh, done a lot of like reality show TV producing, things like that.
Hmm.
But he happened to make an appearance at Super Mega Fest. And he had not aged well at the time. Um his he well it had been 20 years since he'd really been on television, 15 to
Sure.
20 years. So he already had gray hair, but it just wasn't really kept. He's wearing a t-shirt and some jeans that looked like he was out painting the garage. It was It's Super Mega Fest. Nobody wears their best to Super Mega Fest.
No, no, you just go.
Yeah, it's just you roll out of bed and just pretty much whatever you were wearing.
Exactly.
Um, if you slept the night before.
That is true.
But I was talking with a couple of friends,
No, no.
and we're looking at the assorted, and I made a joke about who they dragged out this year. And I'm like, well, it was great that they got the ghost of Eric Bischoff to show up.
Oh, like right in front of his booth this time, or
No, no. This time he just happened to be walking behind me through the middle of the floor.
why?
And of course, that's when I happened to make that crack, and he just stops, and I catch this glimpse of stopping right out of the corner of my eye, and I can feel that chill just go right up my spine. And I absolutely know that I've done it again.
I fucked up.
And I turn a little bit to my left, and I see it's him, and he just looks at me and shakes his head. Just this look of utter disappointment.
Oh, the worst.
And I slowly turn my head back to my friends, and he walks away. And I could just. They're trying really hard not to die laughing. Who am I kidding? They weren't trying that hard. But the second that he was gone, There were just fits and gales of laughter from that group. And yeah, I swore to myself that I would be more careful around celebrities and look to see who was nearby and make sure that if I was going to make a crack like that, I'm just going to be more careful.
So then the next time,
So the next year,
so then,
ah, so you're basically just getting the scatter shot of Super Mega Fest at this point
yeah, I mean, geez, I
because
can't imagine the havoc you've wreaked at other conventions because this
uh,
one's,
this is it, yeah.
yeah,
Um, this time I didn't actually attend Super Mega Fest,
you just phoned it in.
but I was in the hotel because we had decided that well, the 501st isn't at this con anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
moved back to the Sheraton in Framingham,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's a great venue. From the outside, it looks like a castle. It's got a great ambiance to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also about the size of a four-car garage.
Oh boy.
And if you're going to have an organization like the 501st, you need to be able to provide space. We can't really do what we do with a 10 by 10 booth and a table.
Right.
If you're looking for the props and the interactivity and the photo area and yeah, it doesn't fit well with what they had become. And that's fine. We'll just kind of go on, do our thing. Some of our members are members of other clubs. So, there were some Ghostbusters there. There were some people doing some Doctor Who stuff and had brought those props and, a little here, a little there. But we tend to get together after the convention closes on Saturday. And that's when the debauchery begins. We'll hit the bar. We'll get some rooms, have a bunch of room parties. Super Mega Fest that year happened to be the weekend between my wife and my birthday. We were Our birthdays are a week apart, so we have that thing where it's just makes more sense to have one big party than do a party for this person, then a party for this person. You know, with a married couple, it's fine, as opposed to like a kid having a birthday that's the day after Christmas and you get one gift. That
Right.
sucks. But for us, it's like, well, you know what? Let's get a suite. Let's let's bring Boomy. It's a pet friendly hotel.
Puppies.
So we'll get some alcohol and some snacks. We'll have a room party. We'll invite people up. We'll hang out, people in and out. That'll be great. So I get our keys, head up. One of them works, one of them doesn't.
Mm-mm.
So my wife is upstairs. She's got the working key. I'm heading back down and I'm going to swap out this key. Sixth floor, back down to the ground. Once again, pro wrestling reference. Are you familiar with Scott Steiner?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
What was that?
You were just getting a card for your room. What could you have done in like
Uh,
30 seconds?
so at the time, and I suppose currently, big fan of a podcast called Something to Wrestle with
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Pritchard.
Okay.
And the host, Conrad Thompson, had been giving Scott Steiner, who was a retired wrestler at that point, some good natured rib about his new business venture. He now owned a Shoney's in Ackworth, Georgia. And he'd decorated it with all sorts of old wrestling memorabilia and so on and so forth. So as they were going back and forth about it, the joke came up, Hey, I'm Scott Steiner. Come on, check out my Shoney's. Try the ham cubes. So on their podcast, they just started referring to Scott Steiner in shorthand as ham cubes. He hated that with the fire of 1,000 suns.
Here we are.
And here I am getting out of the elevator. I'm not a small person. I am broad. I am 6'2". Doug and I are of a shape.
Of a shape.
So when I get out of the elevator and look down at this guy who's probably about 5'7", 5'8", pretty well jacked, but wearing an NWO t-shirt and looks kind of like Scott Steiner, I just figure it's a costume. So the next words out of my mouth as I throw up the click hand sign with the devil horns and try to give him the too sweet is like, awesome awesome hand, great look, ham cubes.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me, and I could feel the heat of his eyes through his sunglasses as he looks at me and goes, fucking what? Fortunately, the elevator's open and he's got to get on it. But there was that moment, and all I could squeak out was, gotta go! And tore ass around the corner. I didn't even know he was a guest at the con.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to the con.
Right.
I didn't know who was going to be there.
Right.
But you know what? Every time that I've heard him build, he was billed at my height. He was supposed to be my size. He was not supposed to be this diminutive individual. And as I'm looking down at Big Papa Pump, this can't possibly be him. I figure I'm safe. And I figure it's a guy in a costume. So throwing up the hand signs and going, great costume, ham cubes. So I get back up to the room and I'm looking around. I'm like, did anybody else know Scott Steiner was coming to this thing? No? Awesome.
No, once
again, my wife, bless her heart, it's been 11 years. Just looks at me. What did you do? So for the rest of the time there, we were kind of looking around and hoping Scott Steiner didn't pop out of any dark alleyways or
kick your ass.
With my luck, he'd be getting ice or something and see me and just give me a Steiner recliner right in the middle of the hallway.
Like the joke is just your entire weekend. Did you just keep running into Scott Steiner and he's chasing you through the convention?
Yeah. Well, I think I might be faster than him because I've definitely got longer legs.
See, but you can't say that because you thought you were bigger, like less bigger than him too, and like you're like, I could outrun him. The next thing you know, you're like in a chokehold in the middle of the lobby.
Yeah, he's got his bicep up in my nasal cavity.
I regret my choices. Oh no!
Of all the things wrong, I regret this one the most.
This is the one. Especially like a pro wrestler. I mean, like I said, pro wrestler. I know, again, like wrestling is either it's they're hurting each other, but it's fake because it's not gonna like really hurt anybody because that's not the goal. Yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty sure those dudes could still mess somebody up. I mean, look at The Rock.
This guy is a former amateur wrestling college champion,
right?
So like if he wanted to hurt you, he could.
Yeah.
And there'd be nothing that you could do or say that could make him stop. Yeah. If he wants to turn you into a pretzel, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But Yeah. Here
Yeah.
I am. Let's take this guy who could probably pull out every single one of my teeth and I'd have no recompense, no way to stop him.
No.
And just let's insult him to his face. Call him ham cubes because he loves that nickname.
Yeah, that
Good
seems
job.
like not a good idea.
Yeah.
I do not recommend that.
I I have not attended Super Mega Fest since.
Yeah.
Um, that seems to be the well, that was right before the pandemic too. So I haven't actually attended any conventions since that happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Scott listens to this podcast, so
Oh, great!
Scott, if you're
Wonderful.
listening, guess next week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. It's
His
I can
teacher.
feel my cloaca puckering from here.
Right? Like, these people just suddenly reach out to me. I need to be on the show. It's like, oh, okay.
You just get this. Where's he from? What's going on? I
Where'd
need
you
to
find
see.
him? It's like,
Right.
oh boy. Oh boy.
Meet me in the Shoney's parking lot.
Oh no. Gets out of his clown car to come wrestle you.
Oh, good lord. Gonna fill you full of croutons, hang you up like a pinata.
Oh no. Yeah, that sounds like a horrible idea. Good
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you haven't insulted any guests since 2019.
Um, if I have, it hasn't been in person.
Right, just on the internet.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
The internet is marvelous for finding new and creative ways to insult people.
And I say any instances where you haven't insulted someone, or
Honestly, I can't think of any.
no.
Um, I have nearly escaped a couple of times, but it has become a thing where people will look at me when they say, "Okay, so and so is on their way over to the booth. Eric, we need you to go over here. We need you to man this table where they won't be because we want to maintain a positive relationship with this person. And if your mouth opens, we know that we are going to be on the internet the next day with, hi, I had a great time at whatever con, but let me tell you about the experience I had with the 501st." So,
You're just tucked in like a dark corner under the curtain. Don't look at him, Eric.
yeah. Yeah, I quick at conventions I become the Legion's little secret. It's like, you know what? Why don't you go on break? Why don't you go get something to eat?
But I
We'll
just got you a
we'll get you
discount.
we will get you an autograph. It'll be fine. just just don't.
I can just like see, like you're like hiding away, and like the guest comes over and goes, "Oh, and who's that? No, we don't talk to him. No, we don't.
Mm.
Nope, he's a deaf mute. We just don't. Nope. Don't worry about it."
Just be sitting back there having like a bottle of water and a little bag of pretzels. Somebody
Literally,
walks into the changing room and they're like, "Let's just throw a sheet over him."
literally paid no attention to the man behind that curtain.
Yeah. I'll just be over here licking shoes and yelling sanctuary every 2 minutes. It'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, good lord. Good lord. But I will actually be going to a convention for the first time in at least 2 years
Oh,
in September, Granite State Comic Con.
I'm probably gonna be going to Granite State for a day. I'm trying to, anyways.
Excellent. I will be living there for the weekend
Oh,
because
fun.
I'll be actually there with the Dark Empire, which is the Sith wing of the 501st and Rebel Legions and so on and so forth organization. It's all custom Sith and Darksiders and smugglers. So
Fun.
I'll be repping that weekend and
Nice.
breaking
You'll be
down
looking at the guest list ahead of time to know who's there.
that is my hope. And see, I saw some cancellations and I immediately just went, "Oh, you know what? This is what's best for them."
Yeah, right.
Because, you know, um, oh, Mick Foley's going to be there. That piece
Oh,
of crap. Um,
we have a story about him.
oh God, I hate this guy.
Let's
I
go.
so oh God bless you, Moonshine. The so before I got involved with conventions, um, I went to a wrestling event, and he was billed as the special guest. It was one of the independent shows, so it's a bunch of just they're not WWE guys. They're not your they're professional, but they're not at that level yet.
Sure.
But he was going to be there. He was signing autographs and taking pictures, and going to be special guest referee for one of the events.
Hmm.
And on television, he had just retired. He had just lost a Hell in a Cell match to Triple H, and the uh, whole storyline with that was if he won, he got the belt. If he lost, he retired.
Hmm.
And this was 2 weeks afterward. And according to his book, between that retirement match and WrestleMania, which was the next month, he had been having a miserable time. He was feeling bad about himself. He was banged up, etc., etc. But that's no excuse for how he treated this little girl in life.
No.
She's, I would say, late elementary age, and shows up. Mick is her favorite wrestler. She brings him flowers, has that sweet little girl, "It's good to see you, Mick" kind of voice. And she gives him the flowers. They take the picture, and she's like, I I hope you can come back and wrestle soon, Mick. You're my favorite. And he gives her this look of death and just goes, "I'm retired," and just turns his back on her and takes the flowers that were on the table and tosses them back behind his chair. Just like this
No.
cavalier toss. And she starts crying. And her
Oh
mother has to take her. I mean, they took her over to the seats for a little bit. You could not be aware of this little girl. And I'm like two people, I'm not like next in line or anything, but I'm like 2 or 3 people back from this. So I saw pretty well.
no. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, because I liked him at that point. I wouldn't have been there if I didn't.
Right.
And all I can think as I'm faking the smile and taking my picture with him and having him autograph my book is, what a piece of shit you are.
Yeah. Right.
I just, to a man, everybody who's met Mick is like, oh, he's such a great guy and so happy and so giving and oh, maybe you met him on a bad day. It's on your bad days when you show who you really are. So you mentioned earlier that you're not gonna change anything I say or bleep me out. So I'd like to give a hearty hail and healthy fuck you to Mick Foley.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am. It doesn't matter how much time it's been 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
but he can sit and spin.
Mm-hmm.
I disgusted by that kind of behavior, and no matter what he does in life, I will never forget what a piece of crap he is.
Like, I mean, you don't treat anybody like that, but kids, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
come on.
like a late elementary school age kid, and you took her heart, tore it out, ripped it up in front of her, and just any image that she had of not just meeting him but meeting celebrities.
Right.
This is somebody that, she was going, and she's a fan. If she wasn't a fan, she wouldn't have been there.
Right.
And the fact that she brings him flowers, and you throw them aside and just grumble at this kid piss up a rope.
Yeah, literally. Like, go fuck
I
yourself with
just
something sharp, dude.
I I've seen him at conventions a couple of times
Uh huh.
and have had to stop myself. And I saw him at Super Mega Fest. I had to turn and walk the other way because just
See, the one time I want you to insult somebody.
I well, that's the thing is that I'll only do it unintentionally because if I go up to Mick Foley,
Uh huh.
he and I are of a size, and it's not going to be pretty, and I refuse to put myself into a situation where I am intentionally creating an ugly scene.
Sure, sure, sure. Like I'm saying,
But
like, why can't he walk behind you, like, without you realizing?
I I hope he listens to this. I doubt he will. But you know what? I'm no matter what he does from here on out, just the way he treated that girl, just, yeah,
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 garbage.
just absolute garbage.
Garbage.
Um, and yeah, I'm sure people are going to have an awesome time with him at Granite State. I'm sure that he's going to sign lots of autographs, take lots of pictures, and get lots of love. But 0% of that is going to be from me.
Nope.
So,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, this really is kind of like therapy.
See? I told you. This show's great. Brings out the best, the worst.
Oh,
It's like, that's why I
oh,
do it.
good
That's why I do
lord.
it.
Good lord. So, I have plenty more stories of
Mm-hmm.
incidents and celebrities and such, but by my eye, it's been almost an hour.
It has almost been an hour.
And
You've insulted 4 people and you've told some stupid ass wrestler guy that he's a piece of shit. So I mean it's been
yeah,
pretty successful.
there we go. There we go. But maybe in the future,
Oh,
I'll have
absolutely.
I'll have my people call your people.
Sure,
We'll
sure.
just yell at Doug,
Right,
and,
right.
maybe we can do this again.
Absolutely. Would
Uh,
love to have you back, Eric.
can
Is there
talk
any
about yelling at Dave Filoni
Yeah.
and insulting more Star Wars people.
Love it. I love
Things
it.
that are not at Super Mega Fest.
So when you're not at conventions, insulting people by accident, is there anything you do that you'd like to promote?
Absolutely. You can find all of my props, crafts, and such at rabidbadger.net. I am the head of Rabid Badger Studios. We make stuff.
Yeah, I've got
Uh,
one of your tumblers.
excellent. That was one of was that one of the ones that Doug had me make?
The programming one.
Excellent.
Yay.
So yeah, I did an order this year for Anime Boston.
Yep, yep, yep.
I am starting to branch out and do more and more things. I am going to have a bunch of my work, as mentioned previously, at Granite State Comic Con this weekend. Not this weekend. Good Lord, thank God it's not this weekend because I
No,
am
no, no.
not ready. Uh,
Nope, nope, that's not true.
in the middle of September, sometime 15th, 16th, something like that. But yeah, I look forward to seeing people there. And again, rabidbadger.net for all of the links to my stuff.
Sweet. Awesome. And yeah, all I've got, guys, is my book. You can get that on Amazon. It's called Life Lessons. Oh, jeez, I don't even know the name of my book. How bad is that? Woo! It's been one of those weeks. It's called That Could Have Gone Worse: Life Lessons from a Dinosaur Cosplayer. And that is available on Amazon. I write talk good stuff, obviously.
Meehan, words good.
Words good. Eric, thanks again for coming on the show. We can't wait to have you
Absolutely.
back.
It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to next time.
Sweet. And for everybody else, hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.